When you put on those gloves in practice, you get in the net. Which teammate is scoring on you the most during training?
And all time.
Yeah, current and all time. You can be honest.
I don't get scored on. What are you talking about?
Welcome back to the DOOP presented by Subaru. As always, I'm Sage Hurley. Over there in the corner, we have Mark. He's the man with the mail. And today we have a club legend, club leader, and an undeniable fan favorite, not only here at the Union, but across the entire league. You know him, you love him, except if you're an opponent trying to score. Andre Blake, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you guys for having me. It's a pleasure being here.
10 years at the Philadelphia Union. Can you believe it?
I can't. Sometimes I forget, but I mean, they say time flies when you're having fun, so it definitely does not feel like 10 years, but it's been a great journey.
What has kept you here in Philadelphia all this time?
I guess I found home here, the fans, the club, and I just haven't had a reason to feel like, I want to go. This club is all I know. The fans are amazing, and for me, I just feel like I owe it to the club, to give them everything I have.
When you look around this room and see all the memorabilia on the walls, is it crazy to think of how far this club has come since when you started here in 2014?
Yes. I remember training at Chester Park, having to come here and change in the stadium and then go to a public park, definitely come a long way. I was doing some reflection the other day and looking back at some of the players that were here when I came, and like most of them, they are not even playing anymore, but this club has definitely come a long way, and I'm very proud to say, I've been a part of that movement, and I think there's still more to achieve, and I want to be a part of it.
Do you remember what your first day at the Philadelphia Union was like?
It was draft day, right?
It was draft day.
It was draft day in Philly.
Yeah, that's a special moment, getting drafted number one, by the club that the draft was being hosted in that city. Felt like yesterday, even though I don't remember a lot about it, but I just remember, hearing my name call and the fans, going off.
Did you know it was coming, that Philadelphia was likely going to be the place where you ended up?
No.
Really?
No idea. Like, at the combine, like, the clubs that are most interested in you, they would have meetings with you. And I met with Philly on the last day, and it was just like a formal meeting. Like, they were just talking to me just to talk to me. There was nothing behind it. So I had no idea until when they said from, like a member of Generation Adidas from the University of Connecticut. And then at that moment, I knew it was me because I was the only one from Connecticut, that's a member of the Generation Adidas. So it was a shocker for me.
So speaking of Connecticut, how does a kid from Maypen, Jamaica, make it to the northeast of the United States for college?
I had a mindset that whatever it takes, so was it difficult? Yes, it was, but again, my mindset was whatever it takes, wherever I have to go, whatever I have to do, whatever it takes, so yeah.
And you did it.
I did it.
What was the recruiting process like at that point in time?
So I was in high school, and I think there was a connection where whenever they need a player from Jamaica, they would have that communication to see who are the top candidates. So I guess I was, at that time, University of Connecticut, they needed a goalkeeper, so I was recommended. They came out, watched me a few times. I met with the coach, and asked me if I wanted to come in for an official visit. I said sure, but that was in November. So just imagine going to Connecticut in November.
Cold.
You know, I remember I was wearing like maybe 6 layers, to be honest. And then a puffy winter jacket, and at halftime I had to leave. You know, that's how cold it was, but I had a mindset.
So speaking of like the weather, one of my favorite movies of all time, Cool Runnings. Have you seen it?
The bobsled, yeah.
Yeah, of course. So when they go to the Winter Olympics, they're all wrapped up in those big coats. So I'm
Yep.
picturing something very similar.
Yep, I mean, that mindset. I mean, I can't swim, and I said if I had to swim, I was going to swim. Whatever it takes, I was going to get it done. You know, so it was freezing cold, but I had a mindset that, you know, I'll do whatever I have to do, and if this is the place. But for whatever reason, like, the cold, it didn't scare me. It didn't make me like second guess. I was just like, for whatever reason, I just thought that this was the place for me to be. I don't know why.
So when you officially made that transition, moving to UConn, moving in, becoming a student there, what was that transition like? And outside of the cold, was it hard for you?
It was very hard. It was a tough moment, and even before, like, I ended up going in August, and then my visit was in November, but then in January, like, a couple different schools wanted to bring me in.
Really?
And they wanted to bring me in for January, and I was ready to go. I didn't want to stay in Jamaica for another 6 months or however long before I go. So then at that point, it was a tough decision for me. Do you sit and wait to go to UConn, or do you go to another school? And I can tell you a school from Florida was among those schools. So probably a little bit crazy, a guy from Jamaica choosing to go to Connecticut versus Florida, where the weather is similar. But again, even with putting on the line that there was a chance delaying and waiting to go to UConn, like, it must happen, you know, like something could have happened within that time. Like, I was just chilling, like, this is where I'm going, this is how it's gonna be, you know. And I waited, you know, and it happened. But when I got there, it was tough, you know, leaving my family behind. You know, I was lonely, didn't really have any friends or whatever, and it was a pretty challenging time in my life. But again, I had a mindset, you know, whatever it takes, I was willing to do it.
Was there anything off the field that you did to try to overcome that adversity?
I'm a big believer. Yeah, I'm pretty religious, so I was drawn closer to God in those times where, you know, you didn't really have anybody else to talk to. I was in my room, and I just pray and just ask for, you know, strength and belief and faith and all those good stuff.
So when you hear your name called for the SuperDraft, did it all seem worth it at that moment?
Yeah.
Or was it until later when you started to feel comfortable here in Philadelphia? Like, when did it feel like all of your hard work and the sacrifice that it takes paid off?
I still feel like it haven't really hit me the way it's supposed to yet. For me, it's a blessing, and it's also a curse. I kind of helps me to stay grounded and to stay humble and to stay committed to whatever I'm doing. So I don't celebrate my wins as much as I should, but that's because I want to stay humble and I want to stay grounded. And so, it's good, but it's also bad because you should celebrate the moments, but it's okay. I can celebrate them when I retire.
That's true. So you might not celebrate them now, but I want to celebrate you. I want to do a toast. Okay. So we'll go up, down, and then cheers. We'll go up, and I want you to share a high moment of your career, and then when we go down, like a low moment or something you had to overcome at the Philadelphia Union,
Mm-hmm.
and then when we toast, you can cheers to someone who's impacted your career in Philadelphia in a big way or has made a difference in your professional aspirations. Okay?
Okay.
All right.
I need to prepare for this moment. So up.
Yep.
Up is a high moment, down is a low moment, and cheers is a...
Cheers to someone who's helped you along the way.
Okay, let me think about that. Cheers.
There's been a lot of people over 10 years.
Yeah, I know. All right. The high moment. All right, ready?
Mm-hmm.
So for me, highest moment is winning the Eastern Conference. Of course, in front of our fans here. Convincing 3-1 win over New York. So that's my high moment. And low moment, I would have to say, as good as it felt being in the MLS Cup, losing that game the way we did, that was the low moment for me. And cheers to all the goalkeeper coaches that I've had over my 10 years being here. They all played a part, and I'm grateful for them.
All right. Cheers. So, in that time, 3-time MLS Goalkeeper of the Year. How did you even become a goalkeeper in the first place?
I didn't choose goalkeeping. Goalkeeping chose me. People probably look at me when I say that, but when I was younger, growing up, I was always out kicking out on the field. I like playing on the field. I actually like playing on the field more than I like being a goalkeeper.
Really?
Yep.
What position would you be if you weren't a goalkeeper?
I can play anywhere on the field, but my preferred position would probably be a number 10 or a winger.
All right. So when was the first time you put on the goalkeeper gloves?
Maybe five or six, but my passion for soccer is through the roof. I have 6 brothers, so they all play, not at a high level, but I would always be I got exposed to soccer from a young age. I would always go to the soccer fields with them, but I always find myself playing with bigger guys than myself, and I would go to the pitch in the morning, I would go in the afternoon, and I would go in the evening. I could not get tired of playing soccer, but like any other kid, you'd bounce around, and then I would find myself in the goal sometimes, and I would just get really good feedback, and things would just happen naturally, and but I still would not want to be in goal. I don't want to be a goalkeeper. I want to be an outfield player. But I remember when I was in primary school, the levels are a little bit different here. That would around about when I was 10, 11, 12, I would start out playing on the field. I would score 2 goals, and then I would go play goalie, and nobody could score, and that's how we would win all the games.
Really?
Yep, so it's pretty good at both positions, but every time I go in the goal, people would just keep telling me how good you are and all these stuff, and then eventually I started to believe that, all right, you know, if people are saying all these good stuff, maybe I should like be serious about it and give it a try. But even in high school, I was still bouncing back and forth. And I remember I got injured once because I was at national team camp being a goalkeeper. And when camp break, I went back to high school and I was playing out on the field, and I got hurt playing on the field. And the coach found out, and that was kind of a big moment for me because I got yelled at, first of all, and then he said, all right, I'm going to put you on the field, and if you can't make it on the field for the national team, then you're going to go home, you know. So he was pretty pissed off, and, you know, that was kind of the moment where I had to make a decision, and yeah.
And not only just goalkeeper, you were also playing other sports when you were younger as well. I watched the FIFA Captains documentary last night, actually, and one of your school teachers said that you were the captain of the cricket team, captain of the track team, captain of the soccer team. When did that distinction of I'm going to go with soccer and stick with it, when did that happen?
I would say right after high school. I was good at cricket. I can run a little bit, but my passion was always, you know, soccer. But I feel like I can play any sport, you know. But, you know, from ever since like 5 years old, I wanted soccer to be my way out, my profession. So.
And there was another moment in the documentary where your mom said, Andre has always been a leader, never a follower. And now you're the captain of the Jamaican national team, the captain of the Philadelphia Union, you're a leader on both teams, and your impact is unmatched. Have you always been a leader, or is this something you had to grow into, do you think?
Probably out there. I probably had the qualities of being a leader, but it's definitely something that I had to grow into. Again, maybe it's something that people saw in me that eventually, you know, I start to believe that, all right, you know, if people are saying these things and giving me all these feedbacks, then maybe they're seeing something. You know, at first it was tough. I remember the first time I was named captain for the national team, I was trying to shy away from it, you know, and I remember the manager talking to me and the team doctor, and there was like, no, you know, you got this, you know, you're the right person, we all see it, and you should believe in yourself, you know. So I kind of went and let that soak in a little bit, and I'm like, all right, I mean, if people see it, you know, then it's got to be something, you know, all these people can't be lying. So, you know, I started to believe, and I just embraced it and just grow into the position.
What's the hardest part about being a leader of both of these squads?
It's lonely. It can be lonely, and it's a tough position because, for one, you have to deal with different people or different persons with different personalities, and you rarely find two persons that are the same, you know, and you're gonna have to make the unpopular decisions, and people are not gonna like that, but that's the difference with being a leader, you know. You can either be okay with just saying what people want to hear and follow them, or be able to stand alone and say, listen, you know, this is the right thing, and this is what's best for the team, and this is what we're going to do. And it's tough because when you walk into a room and everybody else wants you to say yes and you have to say no, it's not easy. But you have to do what's right for the team first, and it's hard because I always say when I'm with the national team that if I have to lose a friend or two, that's okay. You know, we're all here for a reason, and it's a team sport, and I want to win, and I want to make the team better, and if there are a few persons that are not on board, you're gonna have to do what you have to do, and that's the hardest part. But as I do it more and more, and as you grow into it, you kind of realize that it's okay to be honest. It's okay not to be liked by everybody, as long as you stand for what you know is right and you stand for the truth. Then I can deal with whatever comes after, because that doesn't matter much to me.
On the other end of things, you have established yourself as a household name in Philadelphia, which is a pretty big deal for a 5-for-5 sports city like Philadelphia is. And then there's players that look up to you, little kids that look up to you, like someone on your team now, Andrew Rick. He looked up to you through his entire childhood. He wanted to be just like you. And now you are his team captain. He's working alongside you every single day. And then in that video that the Philadelphia Union posted where he was talking about how much he admires you, you commented and you were like, oh, don't make me cry, bro. How much does that mean to you that you're impacting kids and kind of guiding them in their soccer career?
I mean, I had no idea, to be honest. He came in and he did a good job of disguising it, to be honest. But that makes me feel like really good. That makes me happy. Just the fact that you have people looking up to you and like admire your work and want to achieve what you have achieved. That for me is such a great feeling. It's a fulfilling. It makes me. I can't even find the words to explain it, but it feels like an achievement in itself. And for me, the challenge is just to continue to be a good role model for people that are watching, because you never know who's watching.
That's so true. You didn't know that Andrew Rick was watching you like that?
No idea. I had no idea.
It's also got to make you feel a little old.
Not
one of your
really.
teammates.
Not really, but I mean, we all have to get there one day, but
that's right.
As I always say, I'm like wine. I'm like wine,
So during your time here in Philadelphia, obviously your Jamaican culture is huge to you. What has it been like to almost always have other Jamaicans on the team, like Damian Lowe, Corey Burke, Alvis Powell, all being around you?
Yeah, it's always great to have a countryman in the locker room. You can always go back to your your language and just kind of let loose and have a little bit of fun there. But and it also tells me that they're doing something good, and we've had some really good Jamaicans, and hopefully we can keep that going.
So before we started rolling on the cameras, we were talking about the Olympics and track and field, and it's really special how Jamaicans really get behind their athletes and support them. Why do you think that is, and what's special about Jamaicans and Jamaica fans that keeps them so excited about sports?
They are very excited about sport, but track and field they're pretty big on track and field, and obviously they have reasons to be, They've been pretty good over the last few years, and it comes with a thrill, like the excitement behind it. I was watching the 100-meter final for the men's the other day, and I was nervous, like had nothing to do with me or anything, but I was nervous, so I can just imagine that feeling of like that you get from, and this is probably only going to be 10 seconds, but the excitement, and the build up behind it, it's just an amazing feeling, and to see those guys, do really well over the years, it builds up this expectation that you look forward to, and when that expectation gets fulfilled, it's an amazing feeling.
The 2026 World Cup is in the United States. Jamaica hasn't qualified since 1998. For you personally, would that be the pinnacle of your career, leading Jamaica to qualifying for the World Cup and maybe participating in it?
It's got to be. I'm an American as well, so being able to lead Jamaica to the World Cup, being hosted in America, I mean, that's it for me. It doesn't get better than that.
Do you think that's a possibility?
100%, Is it going to be easy? Hell no, but it's possible.
As the team leader, what does Jamaica need to do to put themselves in the position to compete here in your home, the United States, in 2026?
We have a lot to do, to be honest. But again, it's possible, I believe. Every time I go to camp, I share that belief with these guys. And I know for sure we have the talent. We have the pool of players. And they're just a few things that we need to get right. And once we get those right, I think we're going to be a force to reckon with. And we're so close, but it can also be so far away. And it's right there, and hopefully we can figure it out. And I know once we figure it out, we're gonna make some noise.
And you are signed here on the club side through 2026 with an option for 2027. How did that deal come to be, and did World Cup aspirations have anything to do with wanting to keep playing for that long?
I want to play for as long as possible. If that's 55, then that's 55. But like signing here, like obviously, like I would have had dreams and aspirations of playing in Europe, but it's always, it needed to make sense, and I am happy in Philadelphia, and I'm not just gonna go to Europe. If it didn't make sense to go, I wouldn't go, and I was happy in Philadelphia, and this club is all I know, and if I have to retire here, I'll retire here. But I still think this club drafting me number one, and believing in me, I feel like I owe it all back to the club, back to the fans, and that's why every time I get a chance to put on that jersey, I wear it with so much pride, and I give my all, and I'm so passionate about, winning for this club, winning for this city, because professionally, this is all I know.
And the passion that you share for this club, they feel the same about you, the fans, the staff, players. Mark's been here for a really, really long time.
Thanks for rubbing it in.
Mark,
she's not saying that you're old.
Yeah, that's what she said. That's what I heard.
Can you explain for someone who might not know the impact that Andre has made on this club in your time here? Because you've been here from the very start.
Yeah, I think Andre brought stability, right? And he brought that from a position that we needed for a long time. And I think the fans recognize that. I stand down the river end after every game, and you're the one that gets the biggest applause no matter what. Kids want your gloves, adults want your jerseys, everything. So he's hopefully next to go up in that Ring of Honor when it is done, when his career is over. But until then, I think he's, like he said, there's a lot more he still wants to do.
That's right. But we've talked a lot about who Andre is on the field. Let's talk about who Andre is off the field. You're an American citizen.
I am.
Last summer, you made it official. What was that process like?
It wasn't as bad, to be honest. Obviously, it's great to become an American citizen. But the process itself, I was a little bit nervous, especially when I had to study for the test. It's almost like 100 questions. You're gonna only be tested on 10, so that's the tricky part. You don't know what 10, so you have to prepare for everything.
So that's what I want to know. I'm still not an American citizen. How hard is the test?
It's not hard, to be honest. And if you just take some time, I started studying early, so like I could really take my time. I do like 10 questions a day, over a 3 months period, and you get comfortable quite quickly with it, and I promise it's not as hard as they make it seem.
All right,
It's 10 questions, you only need to get 6 right. Most times people get the first 6, and then the other 4 doesn't even matter anymore. But it was a smooth process for me. It was exciting. We got to document it a little bit, and it's a really good moment, and here I am now, a proud American citizen.
Amazing.
Sounds easy. Maybe I should look into it.
Maybe you should look into it,
Should
Mark.
look into it.
Mark is from England.
I'm English. Yeah.
Yes.
So, been here a while.
Yeah, because
The
I
accent's
cannot
gone.
hear English accent,
No, it's
so
gone.
it's
Gone a
gone.
long time ago.
It's gone.
So are you more of like a flashcard guy, like when you're studying, or you're writing everything down?
I'm a swatter. I swat, so give me those flashcards. Yeah, but I mean, with the test, I didn't need to swat as much because, you know, I had enough time to just take my time and learn the information. Even though I'm a little bit rusty now, I don't know how much of those questions.
Who was the 8th president of the United States of America?
Washington, Adams, Jefferson.
You see, I don't remember if that one was on there, but even if it was, I would get it wrong. I would get it wrong right now, but I'm a little rusty, so.
You probably know more than some of your American friends in the locker room.
100%. 100%. Maybe somebody in this room, but I don't know. Not saying any names.
I see you looking at Kylie over there. I was going to say Jack McGlynn, but that's awesome. Okay, so you're a goalkeeper. You're an American citizen. You're a musician. You're creating a one-man band last time I checked.
That.
Oh, of course. I remember everything, Andre. Tell me a little bit about all the instruments you play and your aspirations.
I love music, like live music. I love music, so I can play the drums a little bit, and right now I'm currently learning to play the keyboard, you know, making strides. Really proud of where I've been, and yeah, like I want to be able to play all the instruments. Is that gonna happen? I don't know, but at least being able to help myself a little bit, and maybe in the end I'll try to learn to sing.
Okay, and then you're going to put on a show for us all.
Yeah, but I'm gonna need some band members. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do it all by myself.
Is there anyone else musically inclined in the locker room?
No.
CJ Olney can also play the piano.
Well, I need to draw closer to him.
I think you guys need to do like a dueling pianos.
No, he's gonna have to switch to a different instrument at this point. Or maybe I just play the drums and let him play the piano. But for some reason, like learning to play the piano, like I actually feel like I like it more than the drums right now.
Really?
And if you know me, I'm a drum lover, but something is just fascinating about just looking at a bunch of white keys and black keys and being able to just, you know, use those keys or notes and turn them into chords that just give you you just produce this beautiful melody or whatever. I just think it's magic.
Absolute moment missed by us not having a keyboard.
I know. We
my-
ordered one. We ordered
would've-
one online. It's not here yet. It's supposed to get delivered today, but it didn't make it.
Big moment. Big
Huge.
moment.
I don't know. We might just bring it up to you in the.
I probably
next
would have needed
one
my
day.
notes, but
What songs have you been learning to like get your?
so I can play a few Adele. I have Hello. I have Someone Like You. John Legend.
I love the video of you playing the piano with the Jamaican
yeah.
national team. That is one of my all-time favorite Dre viral moments.
You say you're learning the piano like I was expecting you to say like Twinkle Twinkle Little Star or something.
No,
You're out here
I'm
saying
past that
Adele
stage.
and
I'm past
you're not
that
learning the
stage.
piano. You're great at it already.
Yeah, but I like to. I'm the person that I don't play things a lot. That's so. If I say I'm learning, or I can help myself a little bit. I'm probably a little bit further than that, but I like to be. And I like to give a surprise.
Okay. So someone asked in the questions, we'll jump the gun a little bit on the mail, your top 3 Adele songs. They included a picture of Adele decked out in Jamaica gear. I don't know if you've seen that, but they sent that picture and said, what are your top 3 Adele songs?
That's actually tough because I I like When We Were Young. I like Don't You Remember. I like Someone Like You. I like Hello. I like all of Adele's songs. I don't know if I can pick three, but I'll probably say Don't You Remember. Probably gonna say Hello. And I just say Someone Like You.
That's a good top three.
Yeah, works for me.
Another musician that you're a fan of, Jamaican ties, Bob Marley. He lived in Wilmington. You live in Wilmington. Did you get to see the Bob Marley movie that came out this year?
I did. I had to go and watch that.
What'd you think of it?
I think it's good. Actually, I learned some things in that movie that I did not know about Bob. I mean, I'm a little bit ashamed to say that, but I'm also proud because, it's never too late to learn something new, right? But I found it pretty interesting, but, he was a legend, and now you see why his legacy is living on years on top of years after it passed. But they have this saying that says legends never die, so.
So I have a question. If there was a movie about the life of Andre Blake, first, who would you want to play you?
Can I play me?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, wow, he can sing and act? And play goalkeeper.
Listen.
Wow.
Listen, I like acting. I don't know if it's the actual acting or just how they put the behind the scenes of how they put all these things together. It fascinates me, just like music, where you just put all these things together and it just manifest into this beautiful whatever. It's the same thing with movies, and acting and behind the scenes, how they just make these things so cool from out of nothing. And maybe I have a little bit of acting skills in me, you never know.
When you're doing documentaries like the one you did, do you feel like you're an actor, or were you just being straight up Andre?
Not as much, because it's a documentary. It's more of just being yourself and like going deep into what's going on versus acting. So it gives you a little bit of what goes on behind the scene and how much work you have to put into it, but it doesn't really give me that feel of being an actor.
Okay. All right. After this short break, we'll go to Mark, and he has a lot of questions from our fans. They submitted a ton, which is not surprising. We knew it was coming, but we'll get to them right after this break.
Subaru has teamed up with the Philadelphia Union and Greater Philadelphia area Subaru retailers to make a difference in our community and at Subaru Park. Together, we've helped hundreds of pets get adopted at the stadium. At Subaru Park, we've grown and donated thousands of servings of fresh organic produce to area food banks and helped give kids in our community access to the game they love. Together, Subaru and the Philadelphia Union are making a difference. Subaru, more than a car company.
We're back, and we have some questions. Mark, do you want to kick us off?
I will kick us off. We got a lot of questions, as Sage has mentioned. I'm going to cheat first, though, because my wife, who used to work here, worked in the early days of the foundation and community, said she used to go on player appearances with you every once in a while, and you always had good recommendations for music. Who are your favorite artists that are out right now?
Favorite artists that are out right now?
She's not looking for mainstream either.
I'm going back to my country. My other country. Or my first country.
Yes.
What sounds better?
Your home country.
My home country. There we go.
There it is.
All right. So first of all, you got to put, Bob is in a category by himself. You're always going to have to say Bob Marley. But right now, it's probably going to be new for you guys. But my current favorite artist, his name is Romain Virgo. And, he's got some really good songs. You guys should go listen to them. And Tell me what you think.
We will.
Will do. Have you ever put it on in the locker room?
No, you know what's funny? I've never connected to that soundbar in the locker room, and I've been here for 10 years. That's unbelievable.
Who's controlling it?
Bizo, Martinez.
Is it any good?
Remember,
It's okay. We're in
I
the
just
trust
say it's
tree
okay.
here. You can tell us.
I just say it's okay. I love music, but I feel like my taste for music is a little bit different. I am more of like a old soul kind of, reggae lovers rock kind of music. So, yeah.
Going off of that, Brandon Clark wants to know what song gets you pumped up for game day.
Pumped up for game day. It depends on the mood that I'm in. Sometimes I won't even listen to anything.
Oh.
And the Meek Mill is the one that gets you going right before you go out. I probably can sing that song word for word by this, but I normally be chilling at home and right when it's time to get ready to come here, when I'm about to go get a show and get ready, I just put some music on, based on how I feel. But again, back to my home country. And yeah, maybe it's a motivational song, or it could be a song to remind me of the past. Something. It depends on my mood, the mood that I'm in versus the mood that I want to get in. And that would determine my selection of music.
So it's not like a set
No.
playlist for every game?
No, it's based on how I feel.
So Michelle Mako wants to know, do you have any other rituals that you do on game days?
I used to, but as I've grown, I realized that it's all mental. I used to think that I have to take a nap, or I have to, go on a walk, or I have to, but not anymore. As you get, older, you realize that it's all mental, and no matter what you do, when it's game time, you just need to be ready. And if you're not ready, then it's going to show. And if you're ready, it's going to show. And, but the main one for me is ensuring that you get enough rest. You can't give up on that one, especially me. I need my full night's rest. If I don't, then I might have to squeeze a little 30 to 45 minutes nap in a day.
Which is probably a little harder with kids at home now, right?
It is, but thankfully they're not as young anymore. They understand, and they know that daddy needs to play well, so they need to make sure that daddy gets his rest.
Especially when they're playing the saxophone, like you mentioned when we took a pause there.
Yeah, and they always choose the right times to do that as well, and wait until nighttime.
All right, so this one came in from I Love Ronnie. It's a simple one. Cats or dogs?
Specifically, cats or dogs, bro. That's how he phrased it.
I'm not a dog person for sure, and I'm not a cat person, but if I have to choose, I would choose a cat.
Good answer.
Do you have any pets?
I do not.
Have you ever had any pets?
When I was younger, yeah. Birds and bunny rabbits.
Wow.
I
Nice.
love a bunny for a pet.
So this next one is from Jersey Quinn LLC.
Oh, okay.
Who's your funniest teammate? Both here or with Jamaica?
With Jamaica, it's Shamar Nicholson. That guy's funny. And here, right now, I have to say...
This might say a lot about the locker room if you can't pick
Yeah,
anybody.
it used to be Sergio. He's gone. This is crazy, but I'm going to say Jose.
That's not crazy. I think that's pretty fair assessment.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if it's like funny or what, but it ended up being funny. Yeah.
Okay, speaking of the locker room, the annex, Brad Papson has a question for you.
Oh, Brad. My guy.
You hate being in the training room, but don't you love the medical staff?
Yes. I hate the training room, not the medical staff. Those are my guys, Paulie, Brad, Steve-O, Phil, the other Brad, and then I have to put Dr. Costa in there. But yeah, I love those guys.
So we're going to switch it over to some food-related questions, a lot of food-related questions. What's your favorite food, and what's your game day meal routine?
My favorite food is going to have to be rice and beans with jerk chicken. So good. I can make it for you guys one day.
We would love that.
Probably going to come at a cost, I'll think about it. But it's not going to be too expensive, I promise. Maybe like $10 a plate, and I'll set you guys up. On game days, I have a very sensitive stomach, so I have to go blonde on game days. So I probably, most times I have a big breakfast, because then I have to taper back as it gets closer to the game. Some guys can eat a big wok like before a game. I can't. My biggest meal I have to come around lunchtime. So, but I get some pasta in with some chicken breast, grilled chicken breast. Nothing too spicy, nothing with too much sauce, and I'll be good to go.
Do you have a favorite Jamaican place here in Philly?
I used to, but now that we can get everything, we just cook at home. But there's this Irish tree in the city it's really good.
Nice.
Silly Jilly wants to know, Silly Jilly, how did you get into having a sports bar in Jamaica, and would you consider opening one in Philly?
Yes.
Yeah? Oh, that's a confident yes.
And that was a quick answer.
Yes.
I like that.
Yeah, we're looking into it. Ever since I was younger, that was always an aspiration for me to own a sports bar. Little did I know that it would have been as challenging as it is. It takes time, especially when you're trying to do it by yourself. But yeah, it's just living a dream, you could say, something that I've always wanted to do, that I am really proud that I was able to, put into motion. Still a long way to go. And to answer the question, the plan is to hopefully one day open one.
So for those who don't know about your first place, when did that come to be? What do you serve there? What's it called?
So it's called Blake's Kickout Sports Bar and Lounge, and we opened in 2021, so right out of COVID. Like, we were doing our build out during COVID, which is
That's tough.
crazy, but it was a big decision. And so we serve like burgers, pastas, chicken wings. We do like seafood, so you have like shrimp, lobster, fish. We do pork chops, ribs. So it's a pretty wide menu with some delicious food.
Do you get to go check it out often?
Every time I go back, I have to. Yep.
Nice. One of our fans wants to know when we can get some jerk chicken at Union Yards. So I think you might need to tell somebody about that, because I would be a supporter of that for sure.
We can arrange something. I jerked some chicken last night.
Yeah?
It's really good, but one of these days I can probably bring out the grill and
Make it happen?
Make it happen.
Kylie and I went to Union Yards on the last game day to check out some of the food that they have. They have a Mexican stand called Los Taquitos de Puebla, and they had a mango shaped as a rose, like cut into a rose shape. But they put like the spicy tahini and the red like chamoy, which is like the liquid spicy sauce. Mm-hmm. It was incredible.
So
and
good.
I got it all over myself.
Oh.
And all over my hands. I think my hands might still be dyed from the chamoy a little bit, but I think we need your jerk chicken situation next to the Mexican, and then we can have like a whole party and it'll be great.
Sounds like a D. We need to sign off on that.
All right, sounds good. We can make that happen.
So you've obviously been in Philly now for a while. Lando Ike wants to know, what's your favorite Philly sports team, other than the Union, obviously?
I'm going to have to say the Sixers.
Because you've rang the bell there before?
Yeah, and I like basketball more than baseball or football or hockey. So yeah.
Do you have a favorite basketball player?
On the Sixers.
Just in general.
In general, LeBron is my guy in general.
Two goats.
But on the Sixers, Maxey.
Great
Been out there. He's
answers.
banged the drum. Yeah, he's been here.
That's we kind of connect. Yeah.
Nice.
Abby 10 Rose. Favorite stadium to play in other than Subaru Park?
I was about to say Subaru. I am gonna say the Mercedes-Benz, even though it's turf, but just the atmosphere it's unbelievable.
For someone who's never been there, what is it like? I went there this year. I couldn't believe it, that it was so packed and loud, but what is it like for a player to play there?
And it's not even as loud as it used to be. They won the year that they won the MLS Cup when they had Almiron and Martinez and those guys. You couldn't hear, like, somebody could be standing like 2 yards away from you and you'd be screaming and they couldn't hear you, you know. But yeah, it creates that, it gives you thrills, and it just, I mean, for me, it's good because it keeps me more in tune and wanting to prove a point. And, you know, there's no better feeling than make a stadium with 70,000 people go quiet.
Yeah, I mean, that must be kind of wild. Is that, like, also including Jamaica, like the craziest stadium you've played in, or have you played anywhere with Jamaica that stands out?
I've played in the Azteca a few times, but it was never sold out. So the only other one that I can think of was Rose Bowl. I played at the Rose Bowl Stadium, Jamaica against Mexico, 80,000.
Wow.
But there's still something about Atlanta. Maybe it's because it's closed.
Yeah, the roof.
Yeah, but like I played in Rose Bowl with 80,000, and that was amazing too. But I still have to stick with Mercedes-Benz.
Okay.
You might have a new favorite once the World Cup comes around, though,
That too.
because just watching how many soccer fans came out to you went to the Liverpool Arsenal game.
Yep.
Mark was there. I was there. How many soccer fans are in Philadelphia? Was that surprising to see? Because I was so happy to see it, but it was cool.
It's that. It is cool. I mean, and it shows that we're gonna need some big stadiums for 26.
Yeah.
Are you an Arsenal or a Liverpool fan?
No,
Who's your club?
it used to be Manchester United, but it got too much for me, and I retired. I'm a retired Manchester United fan.
So nobody anymore.
No, I'm just
Just a game.
chilling. I'm just watching the game, baby.
Keeping it on the field then, David 45T wants to know, what kind of gloves do you wear, and have you always worn the same gloves?
So right now I'm All Sport. It's a German brand, the best in the market. But I've not always been All Sport. You know, coming out of in college I was Nike. Then I got a Generation Adidas. So then I was Adidas coming out of college. Then I was Under Armour, and then I was West Coast, and now I'm All Sport. So I've been through a few.
Nice.
So when you put on those gloves in practice, you get in the net. Which teammate is scoring on you the most during
Current
training?
and all time.
Yeah, current and all time. You can be honest.
I don't get scored on. What are you talking about? Unless I let them score. But you see, I can't let guys' feet get too much ahead of themselves. But,
I don't think they're watching.
but McGlynn has got a nice shot. If he's open, he can really, you know, put the ball where he wants it. And in general, I don't remember, because when I get like, I normally like get to a level in training, but just kind of taper back, you know, to make sure that you're ready for game day. So when I'm chilling, people score, but if I take it really serious, nobody's scoring. Sorry.
What an answer.
Sorry.
Okay. Kind of relating. The real GF11 wants to know what goes through your head during a PK shootout, and as a striker, where should he shoot?
Okay, what goes through my head is, can you get into the kicker's head and make a save. You need to make at least 1 or 2 saves and for your team to have a chance to win the game. And I'm hoping that the striker would shoot wherever I decide to go so I can save it.
I was on the sideline, so were you, right during the penalty kick shootout and right before in the last game, and you turned around to the fans before you went out there and kind of told everyone like to get excited. Is that something you always do when you're getting ready for that, or what does the fan noise do in that process?
It's something I always do. Unfortunately, the last game was an away game for us, so that didn't work. But if you can get your fans in the game, get them loud, that's another way to get into the kicker's head. You like a penalty, you're supposed to score from 12 yards, but the more pressure you can put on that kicker, it gives you a better percentage of saving that shot, because you want them to not hit it as good as they can because they have the advantage. So that's when I try to get the crowd in the game. But as I said, unfortunately, the last game was an away game, so that didn't really work.
Do you, on that same note, obviously their goalkeeper was wasting time, and that goes a lot into like the head games, right? Do you try and get into that as well, or?
You have to play those games. There's a bunch of different ways. I saw a Mexican goalkeeper got a yellow card once because he was doing magic tricks in the shootout, But
What do you mean magic tricks?
he was pulling out
Nah.
I kid you not. He pulled out a ribbon like this long,
Just waiting.
and then he got a yellow card.
Am I being punked? Are you serious?
I kid you not. Kylie, bring it up.
Yeah, we might have to find that clip.
His name is Guzman or something like that. He plays for Tigres.
Wow.
And it was last year, Leagues Cup. In the penalty shootout, he was doing magic trick. He got a yellow card for it, but I kid you not.
We might need to have
Can you
some...
do that sometime?
I cannot do that.
Do you know any magic
I
tricks?
do not know any magic tricks.
I don't believe you.
You're going to see. Kylie's going to pull it out.
You pulled a ribbon out of his nose, out of his mouth?
That's incredible.
No. I feel like that
I'd love to know if the guy made the penalty or not, though.
He saved a couple. They end
did?
up winning the shootout, so
No.
it definitely worked. Yeah, but you have to find ways to really put all that pressure on the kicker.
Yeah, that's great.
You would think it would be more uncomfortable to play with a string in your nose, in your brain.
I don't know how long he's been
wherever
doing
you
it
pulled
for,
that
but
out
I
of.
guess it worked. It worked for him.
He's been waiting for the day to come where he needed to pull that out
He
of
put
his
on a
nose.
show. He put on a show.
Right. If you did that, I don't know if I would ever survive watching that happen.
I'm capable of doing some stuff, but that's not one of them. That's not
That's
one
crazy.
of them.
They're watching it over there at the production side. Everyone in the room is watching. That's the craziest thing I ever saw. Wow. All right. I'm thrown off by that. Mark, take it away.
All right, we're gonna flip it. No pun intended. This next one is from XFlipper86.
And you know who that is? You don't even know who that is. It's Phil Watson, one of the
Oh.
training staff people.
I know Phil Watts.
I know,
That's
I know.
his Instagram name?
I
Yeah.
didn't know that.
Yeah. See? It's Watsy.
Well, then this is an interesting question. Where do you get your inspiration for your hairstyles?
Oh, Pinterest.
Really? Do you have a board? Like a Pinterest board?
No, I just have the app on my phone and I just go in and type in braid for men or whatever, and I get a bunch of different options.
Nice.
I didn't write it down on the list, but I think somebody asked where you get them done.
Oh, so I have my person in Delaware that does it. She does a pretty good job, so that I normally go in and get it shampooed, blow dry, and then stitched up.
All right, this one comes from Logan1 Kaz. Why number 18?
Oh, all right. So, remember I said earlier I like playing out on the field. In Jamaica, number 1 is considered a goalkeeper number. So, whenever I would get my jerseys and there's number 1 and I'm playing on the field, I would feel like a goalkeeper playing on the field.
So you switched it.
So I switched it. Number 18, when you go home and you're in number 18 in a short sleeve jersey, you fit right in playing on the field. So
There you go.
there we go.
Wow.
Makes sense.
It adds up. What was your best save of your career? Evan Rivera, 864. That's his question.
I'd probably have to search my memory, and I'd probably have to pick one that's in a moment that the timing was so crucial. And then because of that, I'd probably say the Eastern Conference against New York, where we were losing 1-0, and then that header that I had to quickly go down and make that save. If that one goes in, it's 2-0 and it's game over. So yeah, my that save against Cayennes, if that's his name, in the Eastern Conference Finals.
So that's one that had a big impact on the bigger picture. But is there one save that you made that you look back on and you're like, how in the world did I get a hand on that or a foot on that, whatever it was? Because some people would describe you as supernatural. Like, was there one like that?
You know what I find interesting? Like, the saves that are the hardest for me aren't the saves that that people talk about. So sometimes I would make a save, and for me that was an easy save, and people go nuts. And then I make a save, and to myself, I'm like, how did I do that? And people don't even mention that. And I find that quite interesting.
I guess going off of that, like as a goalkeeper, like in games where like, say you make a huge save, and it's happened in the last couple actually, where you make a huge save and it like kind of turns the tide of the game completely, but then one of your teammates scores a goal and it kind of gets all the attention. And usually it's only like your head coach, Jim Curtin, who makes sure to say after the game, like, hey, like that save Andre made changed everything. As a goalkeeper, is it hard being in this like thankless role sometimes?
That's okay with me. For me, that's fine. You know what you do, and you know why you do it, and I don't feed off authorization or anything like that. You know what you bring, and you know what you do, and you just do it, whether it gets noticed or not. You just keep doing it. So I'm I'm okay with that.
Our director of group sales, he's a big UConn fan, so I stole this bobblehead here. Are you a big like UConn hoops fan as well, or do you not really follow a ton?
I follow it like a lot more when I was there, but not as much since I left. I probably followed the soccer a little bit more, but Husky for life, baby.
Husky for life.
Nice.
And then my final question, it's a fun one I like trying to ask. Who's the most famous person in your phone?
The artist that I spoke about earlier, Romain Virgo.
Nice.
Oh, you guys are friends?
Yeah, we are friends. It's funny because I was at Media and Marketing Day earlier this year, and they asked me who is the most famous person, and they said, can you FaceTime him? Do you think you'd pick up? So I went for it, and he picked up. So.
All right, we won't ask you to do it again.
No,
then.
I probably won't because he's on tour right now. But
Is he coming anywhere around here?
he was in Philly a month ago. I posted it on my story.
Did you go?
100%. I was there. I was the first one there and the last one to leave.
Where did he play?
It was in Philly. What's the name of that?
What neighborhood?
Fillmore. The name of it was like
Oh, yeah.
Fillmore
Oh, yeah,
or
the
something
Fillmore,
like
yeah,
that.
Yeah. I've seen a lot of shows there. That's a good little venue.
I tried to invite people out, but nobody came. I mean, they missed out, not me.
Okay.
He's a good singer. He's got a great band, and he sings some really good songs. So you guys should check him out.
Yeah, we'll have to.
Okay, going back to the Jamaica ties, Jose Nunez wants to know, how much does community service mean to you, and how impactful was it for you to hold the goalkeeping clinic in Jamaica with Phil Whedon in the off season?
Yeah, I'm big on the community. You know, I got so much help from the community growing up. I feel like I owe it, you know, to myself to give back. You know, that's something that I've always wanted to do. You know, I've started that already. I have the Andre Blake Foundation. Sometimes it's a little difficult to do all this stuff while you're still playing, but for me the most important thing is to set them in motion, and then obviously, you know, once you're done playing, you'll have more time to really fulfill some of those. But for me, you know, they say to whom much is given, much is expected. And I'm always going to be one of the first guys that's willing to give back in whatever way I can.
Do you see yourself getting more involved in that kind of thing when your playing career is over?
Yes, I hope to. And even if it's not like full time, you know, I'm going to play a role for sure.
So it's been 10 years here. You've played with Jamaica for around 10 years. Where do you see yourself 10 years from this day?
10 years from today, I'll be coaching somewhere. I'm going to be a real successful coach. And I'll be coaching. I'll still be an entrepreneur. Hopefully I can have a few restaurants open in America. And still be involved big time in community service, because I think that's important.
And playing the piano at your local bar.
And I'm not leaving out the music. The music is coming right along, baby. Whenever that's my go-to whenever I'm in a mood and I just want to go. That's my happy place.
So we'll close out on this last question. It's one of my favorites that was submitted by a fan. At Rojako wants to know, what's something you want to accomplish that you haven't yet?
I want to win the MLS Cup with the Union, and I want to play in the World Cup with Jamaica, and yeah.
And I want to see you do that, and I'm sure everyone in this room and everyone watching and all of the fans who have watched your journey from 2014 to now want to see that for you. And everything that you've done for this club, they want to see that for you tenfold, I'm sure. So thank you so much for coming on the pod today, and we'll see where this goes.
Thank you guys for having me, and we'll see where this goes.
For more content like this, subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow us on our social media at Philly Union. Thanks for watching.